So Cristiana Eltrayan works as a therapist, international holistic speaker and author. Additionally, she often travels for the opening and maintaining energy portals along the planet, following the planetary energy lines and also the cosmic rhythms. These works are the result of the inner guidance that the author is receiving regarding these energy works. Her workshops and classes have as a main theme the energetic nourishment, the Taoist emotional intelligence and pranic methods of healing and recalibration converging to the consciousness of unity. She combines the ancient knowledge with the modern scientific discoveries to bring a complex and complete picture of the unlimited nature of the human potential. So since 2009, she has been studying the pranic nourishment, the possibility of being nourished by energy, prana, archi, mana. And since 2013, she is offering lectures and classes on this subject. With her work on Soul Healing Academy, she has created several projects, including Pranic Consciousness Summit, the Pranic Festival in Romania, Pranic Festival in India, the Pranic Consciousness Process, the Energy in Harmony Holistic Educational Program for children in schools, and more than 14 charity and ecology campaigns called It's Better with Love. He is a board member of Global Pyramids Societies Movement, an organization teaching meditation worldwide with 22,000 pyramids built for meditation all across the globe, and Peace Ambassador at the Embassy of Peace. So she is also practicing the soul healing holistic therapy, which deals with the balance between body, mind, and soul, and deprogramming and reprogramming the energy field, and shares her experiences in books, workshops, classes, and conferences. She is author of 5 books. So with this, I would invite Cristiana to take over the session. Welcome, Cristiana.
I'm really happy to be here with all of you. It's such a Christmassy times. We're also preparing for the winter solstice. I'm happy to hear that people are interested more and more around the world on pranic lifestyle, pranic nourishment, and the ability to tap into the source energy. I've been working with this for more than 10 years now. I've been studying it and also practicing pranic nourishment. I don't call it breatharianism because we're not nourished by breath, we're nourished by chi, mana, source, or vacuum or quantum field. And that's the difference between the language I use and the mainstream knowledge of this possibility. I'm really happy to spend to prepare this time with you and share this beautiful knowledge that has been so well known in your ancient Vedic tradition and the yogis in your countries. If you're watching from India now, the yogis in your country think about this for thousands of years and haven't got in contact yet with this tradition. We can talk a little bit about it. So tell you a little bit of what prana is from my perspective and what pranic nourishment is. I hope everyone knows a little bit about prana or have heard the term. If you haven't, just know that it refers to energy, chi, mana, life force, or the thing that's circulating through your energy channels and your chakras when you're meditating. If you have meditated, you've noticed that when you still your mind, when you follow your breath, and when you focus within, you have this energy or this thing flowing through your body. You feel more relaxed, you feel more at ease, and you actually feel that something is flowing all along your spine or through your chakras, if you know your chakras, or into your body. That thing that you feel flowing in your meditation, that brings you that state of peace, that state of joy even, is the prana or pranic flow. That's why it's so well recommended to meditate, because you tap into that pranic flow and you can still your mind, you can open your heart, you can bring more calmness into your daily state. That's why daily meditation is so much recommended. So that field that you tap into when you're meditating, that flow of energy, is the pranic flow. That is a universal energy that has been researched now even by scientists, but has been discovered by the yogis and ancient Taoist masters and the Tibetan practitioners for thousands and thousands of years. That's something that now it's no longer a woo-woo thing, is no longer something that we don't believe in, because science has started to discover and measure it. And we have just had a beautiful conversation this week with a team of scientists from the Resonance Science Foundation, geneticists and physicists, that were saying that they're actually doing experiments in their laboratories where they measure people in meditation, and they notice photon emissions. So emissions of light, basically, because that's what photons are when people meditate. So if you're emitting light or emitting photons during your meditation, it means that you have that light, that prana, that energy in you. And that's what's emanating through your cells. The more you still your mind, the more you follow your breath, the more you tune into yourself, the more you have that energy flowing, the more light you emit and circulate through your body. So that's how pranic nourishment is and pranic flow is happening. That's why you've seen so many ancient masters being able to really master their bodies, really fine tune their structures to the degree where they could actually dematerialize or leave nothing behind them when they left their body. You probably have heard the stories about the rainbow body in the Tibetan tradition, where the achievers of that state would just dematerialize when they choose to leave their body, and so in the moment of their death, which means that they have completed the transformation of their body into a body of light. And that's possible with practice for most of us. So in a nutshell, that's what pranic flow is. It's the energy that flows through your body, through your energy channels and your chakras when you meditate or when you follow your breath. And this energy can not only energize and uplift your body, uplift your general state, but it can also nourish your cells. Type yes in the comments if that sounds doable to you, if that sounds possible, if that sounds like something that is familiar, um, because I want to just know how the audience is relating to what I'm saying now. I know that the subject can be challenging to some because we've been taught by nutritionists and general opinion that we need 3 meals a day and 3 snacks in between in order to be healthy and happy. But lo and behold, there are people on this planet that I've personally met that have spent years and years and years without using any physical food. One of them is the yogi Prahlad Jani, who has spent 75 years without food. He has been monitored in the hospital of Ahmedabad twice for 10 days. The first study and the second study has been for 14 days. The Dr. Sudhir Shah with a team of 35 doctors, and the study ordered by the Ministry of Defense of India have been taken place in the hospital of Ahmedabad with this yogi. So his body functions were okay. His mind was in perfect function. He was even producing liquid in his bladder and then resorbing it in his body, which shows that the body has unknown abilities, things that aren't yet discovered, and we need to learn more about how it's working. Apart from this living case that has been monitored many times, we also have yogis that have been in this state and have been described in the book Autobiography of a Yogi, written by Paramahamsa Yogananda, which you probably know, and in books like The Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East, which is written by a scientist whose name is Bertie Splending, and he has discovered many people who were living there for thousands of years, hundreds of years, or being nourished without the necessity of taking physical food, and were having other particular body features, right? So that's something that we need to look at before we fall into this belief, when hearing about this subject, because so many people are now demonstrating. So apart from these yogis that are maybe having a special life, I have many colleagues these days that I've been meeting over these past 10 years that are nourished by light, chi, or prana, some for 3 years, some for 5 years, some for 20 or 30 years. They are friends of mine. They are people I hang out with. I've traveled with them. I've spent time with them in their homes or in my home. So I know for sure that, they can live without eating. I myself have had this experience. I'm living this experience of using very little or no food during extended periods of time, and I'm really energetic and happy with just liquid food mostly, which makes me function at a total different pace, and I love it. I know that to some this is a almost unbelievable topic, so before we go to the pranic nourishment per se, which some people might not be even interested about, because um, that's not something all people want to do, to give up food and live like a pranic being. Before we think of that, let's think of really what food is to us. So my first question before your questions would be, why do you eat? Because so many people are eating for so many various reasons. Not all of the reasons why people eat are out of hunger. So I want to ask you, plain and straight, why do you eat? And please consider this deeply. When you answer, just look at really, why do you feel that you eat in the way you eat? Do you really feel hungry when you wake up in the morning? Do you really need your breakfast? And when lunch is coming, do you really need to go take lunch? And do you need to take 2 courses, or do you only need one? Somebody says out of control, because out of control we take so many meals. We'll talk about control. Sure, it can be an interesting perspective. Share my perspective of what I've noticed over my studies and research. I've had, research done with many people, or during this last 10 years. I've read about it, studied about it, talked with people, interviewed all the breatharians that I've met, all the pranic people that I've met. I've looked at the scientific studies that are out there. I've really insisted on having more scientific studies on the subject, and some of them are starting to come to surface now. So this is a field where I'm really rooted in, and I have knowledge about it because it has been my field of research for so many years. The perspective of my colleagues, which are longtime breatharians, and from my own experience, I've noticed working with so many clients during the pranic processes that we do, the online trainings or the live trainings and the pranic festivals. I've noticed that most people don't really need the 3 meals or 4 meals that they eat. Also, they don't really eat out of the necessity of having more energy. Most of them are eating either for emotional necessities or for to numb out certain things. So when they feel something and they don't really want to feel it, they sometimes numb it out with food. For example, the extra sensitives, the empaths, the ones who are feeling and hearing and sensing all the energies on the planet, or the energies of the people around them, tend to overeat or extra eat when they are in that state, because they want to numb out their senses so that they don't hear or feel all that empathic state, right? So as you see, there's some people eat out of emotional reasons, and those emotional reasons can be like this: I'm eating this cookie because it reminds me of the grandmother, or I'm eating this pizza because it reminds me of the family, or I'm eating the sugary thing because it makes me feel that my life is sweeter, when in fact it's sad. So many people have this approach to food that is highly emotional and not a necessity. And if they would take care of their emotions in order to clear the emotional field, cleanse the trauma, and go deeper into the healing aspects of their lives, they wouldn't eat that much, or they would actually eat very, very little. The more I work with my emotional field and my, going deeper into what I feel truly, the less I need to take energy from the external world, including the food that I'm using. So uh, to the point where now I really prefer liquid diet. So I'm doing mostly soups and smoothies or juices. I really prefer pineapple juice with various additions of chili and cocoa beans and things like that. That's what makes me feel good. That's what makes me feel juicy and happy and strong, and it connects me in some way to the earth energies, but without having really the caloric intake that an adult eating for the, I'm not drinking it for the calories, I'm drinking it for other purposes. So when I'm taking food and it's very, very small quantities, it mostly has to be raw. It mostly it really has to be vegan. I'm not doing well with cheese and dairy products, and I'm not eating meat for 10 years. And it has to be, if it's cooked a little bit, it has to be cooked with love. So small quantities means not more than a fistful, and sometimes smaller than this. And I really prefer to, if I choose to eat solid stuff, I really prefer to utilize nuts, almonds, and pistachio, and sometimes potatoes, because they are having this grounding energy that sometimes is necessary. Um, so that's my diet today. I've been cultivating my energy field for since I was a child, but for the last 10 years, I've been doing constant meditation, yoga, and qigong, and various healing techniques. So because of that, the structure of my energy body and my physical body has been changing. The thing is that everyone can do this, and everyone is doing this willingly or unwillingly, because our bodies are shifting from carbon crystal and having difficulties and bloatings and all this digestive trouble, because they're not taking in consideration the needs of their body. So because our body is shifting, your diet also needs to shift, and you really need to look at and stay in tune with what your body really needs, and not eat out of habit or out of emotional needs. Because when you feel emotional pressure or emotional trouble, you can do some other things. You can take a warm bath, you can do some meditation or energy clearing, you can use some essential oils, you can use music or healing sounds to shift that emotional state, or you can have a tea with a friend, or really do a more in-depth therapy even, to really shift those emotions and work with yourself. And that would be the wise things to do, instead of using. That would be the thing that would really change your emotional state to the better, and would keep it into a good state, right? Sometimes people overeat when they have the necessity um, to nourish their minds instead. So each one of your bodies is requiring a different type of nourishment. Your physical body needs physical food if it's not trained to be nourished by emotional body, and your mental body do not need physical. Body needs pampering, self-care, deep, insightful conversations. I said pampering, cuddling with your spouse or loved one or your dear ones. So this is what your real emotional needs are. And your mind body doesn't need food either. It needs good information, quality documentaries, good reads and books, articles on whatever it is that you prefer to learn, and it needs to learn new stuff. So when you are familiar with the needs of each one of your bodies, you can discern between the need for physical food and the need for other things, as I said, the emotional needs, the mental needs, and so on. And there are also spiritual needs. There are times when people that are not listening to their spirit or ignoring the voice of their spirit, numbing out, trying to numb that out. For example, when your spirit is telling you to do certain changes in your life, you know, certain important changes like move from your city, change your job, change your partner, change the way your relationship is functioning, or have an important clearing in your house or in your life, you're also taking too much food to numb out your energy channels and your chakras and your intuition, because food tends to do that sometimes, to no longer have these messages that are, you know, putting a little pressure on you to make these changes. If you instead would clear your field and say, okay, I'm willing to change, I'm ready to change, and I want to do this change because, you know, it feels like the next step in my life, and then have the courage to follow your guidance, you won't need to numb yourself out with food. You will probably have groundbreaking shifts in your life, and that would be something that, you know, would take you to the next level. And most times we're channeling information and we're speaking exactly what someone in the audience or most people in the audience needs to hear, because we're totally tuned into you and into your field. So that's why I'm saying that probably some of you are, you know, requiring this information about numbing out and not listening to the voice of your soul. So you see, everything is source guided here, and including your presence here and your choice to participate in this webinar has been source guided. So source has told you, you know, go check out this lady because probably she's having something to tell you that is nice or important. And that's how we best function, and that's how our life unfolds in the best way, when we really listen to our guidance. I was going to say that if you got some yeses on that change and listening to your soul thing, if you got some yeses, this is the best time to do it. This is the best time to do that change. This is the best time to shift whatever it is that you need to be shifting, because now we're going through a powerful transformational portal. The 21st of December, or 2112, how it's dated, it's a great energy portal, and also the winter solstice. So as we're heading towards Christmas, each year we're having this portal that brings us more and more energy from the central sun through the galactic sun and into your bodies, that is helping us to do the changes that are necessary and the upgrades that are necessary for our evolution. So each year, the Christmas time in the New Year's Eve is a great leap into a new stage of our lives, but we are being prepared at the solstice time 4 days before Christmas. So that's why so many people are having meditations and group gatherings these days. And you've probably heard of the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn happening these days. This is shift energy 101. So this is when is the best time for you to start the new stage of your life, or the new stage of your evolution. And that's why, you know, tomorrow we're having a great global meditation together at 7 p.m. Bucharest time, which is probably 10:30 p.m. India time. And we're helping people with this meditation to encompass more and more of these energies of change, transformation, to cleanse the things that you need to drop and no longer use or have in your life, and to start anew from wherever you are with this beautiful stage of the Christmas and New Year's Eve. So tomorrow on the 21st of December, we're doing that. And on the 22nd of December, we're starting this 8-day Christmas retreat where we help people detox with juices and very light food. And we're having beautiful meditation every day together for 8 days, and beautiful channelings of information and techniques and practices to uplift your energy. So for 8 days, we're actually 9 days starting tomorrow, we're entering into this constant upgrading time. And you can find reference of all these events on my website, soulhealingacademy.com, and you can actually join them, the meditation and the Pranic process online Christmas retreat, because that's, you know, really helping people transform at a very deep level. So somebody is asking about the time. The meditation of tomorrow, the winter solstice meditation, is at 7 p.m. Bucharest time, Yogaida. And the Pranic process Christmas retreat is each evening starting 22nd of December at 8 p.m. Bucharest time. So it's a Soul Healing Academy.com/events is where you find the Pranic process online. So that's how you can get in touch with these two events and participate to them. I'm really honored to have more of you joining the meditation of tomorrow, because we are a cosmic team, really. And we work together always in the subtle realms. All of you who are joining here, you're also, you know, part of the global team that is supporting the upliftment of the planet. Whoever joins me, they're always part of this global team, you know, because we're collaborating together in the subtle field. And when we do something in the online or live field, they're feeling called to join. And you are in your heart, some of you called to be in these events. And that's why I, you know, advise you or recommend you to really follow your heart, because your chance to transformation, to upgrade, upliftment, and you can have that in an easy way, with joy and ease and grace, instead of having the suffering and the turmoil that, you know, people sometimes do when they embark in transformation. So with these programs and these meditations, we're doing it the easy way. The upgrades are smooth, the transformations are light in their structure, and we're helping people with this prana circulation, with this prana flow. We're helping people to upgrade in a harmonious and beautiful way. The link is also in my Instagram profile, and also on my Facebook, so you can find it everywhere to join. Food is related to mostly with control and controlling aspects. I see someone, Divine Shakti, here saying, can you channel the vibration in Germany and feel whether it is possible to make a transition in this country? I feel it is harder than in other countries like Spain or France or Italy due to the mental setup and also vibrating in the space over the country. Or is it shifting right now? Everything is shifting right now, and Germany has been one of the countries that has been most open to pranic lifestyle. Many people have been tested pranic lifestyle in Germany, and many people have been published pranic books there and have participated to my classes and to the festivals. And I believe it's a really open country, and I believe it's not about how the country is, because you need to be the change that you want to see in the world. You know, Romania 10 years ago had very little idea about pranic nourishment and lifestyle. There were some workshops going on here because Jasmine was coming, but due to the high frequency of the subject, very little people were getting in touch with this topic and the workshops. And so when I started talking about it 10 years ago in Romania, which is my birth country, people were looking at me either like I was an alien or a bit woo-woo, and they were forgetting about the topic the very next minute because the frequency wasn't matching at all. It was very, very far away from where people were at that time, right? Over the time, as we've written 5 books and held maybe hundreds of workshops in Romania and all over the world, and so many of my colleagues have taken care of that as well. Now the frequency is about here, you know, let's say pranic nourishment is this hand, and we're with the field in Romania, we're about here, right? And in Europe. So we're really, really close. So many people have now heard about it, have read the books that we've written, have seen either the Pranic festivals live that we organize here or the workshops that we do online, have seen the recordings of the Pranic Consciousness Summit that is online. You know, where the Pranic Consciousness Summit has more than 30 interviews and open talks with the breatharians and the Pranic people that I've met. So it's such a rich source of information that we have shared with the world over the past 4 years, since 2017, to help people understand how this is possible, how some people are doing it, how their bodies are functioning, and what their lifestyle is. This summit is still available, so the recordings of it can be accessed. And if you go on my website, you'll find a full section that is referring to the summit, and you can watch the interviews and live talks over Christmas time. And this is a huge upgrade for your system, just to expand your mind over the knowledge of this possibility, because there's so many pranic people there, and each one presents his own view and lifestyle and take on the subject. So we've had fabulous people like famous breatharians like Jasmine and Dr. Sa and Roy Martin and so many others, but also scientists like Nassim Armim and other doctors that have studied this topic. So you can see this link that I'm posting now that is referring and leading you to the Pranic Consciousness Summit, and that's the access, where you get access to these videos. To move further into this workshop, what you want to learn about this, because this is fully for you. And there's 5 books that I've written on this topic as well. The newest one is the Pranic World book, and it's been written in English, so you find it on Amazon and Kindle, and it describes the Pranic people that I've met and the Pranic methods and the scientific perspective and the holistic, meditators' perspective on this topic, and how the body is really nourished by energy to a really high degree. So the Pranic World book is the first of 3 books that I'm gonna write. This is completed already. It's already published since 2018, but there's 2 more books coming on this topic. This is Being Free from Hunger, and the next 2 are Being Free from Fear and Being Free from Concepts. That is what we're going to be talking about in the things that I was referring so far are the things that you can find as articles and resources. So the 5 books that I've written that are in the books and videos sections of my website, the Pranic Consciousness Summit, where you find all the interviews with the breatharian people that I've met and the scientists that are interested in the subject. The recordings, some of the recordings of the Pranic festivals, the Pranic festival in India and the Pranic festival in Romania, that are available on my YouTube channel, Cristiana Eltrayan. And of course, if you join the meditations that we're doing and the Pranic process online, the Christmas retreat that we're doing, you have direct experience and direct access to this energy that we're sharing about. So we are not only speaking about it, we're demonstrating it and offering this state to people. So Pyramid Valley, and that you've probably heard or know, has requested me to support them at the Navaratri with 9 days of fasting that they did. I had a webinar at the beginning of that fasting, and people really, could do it with joy and ease and grace, because while we speak, we also transmission the pranic state. So people who have joined the festival, for example, in Romania, have then stayed on liquids for 30 days or 14 days with just water naturally, because you enter that state while we speak about it. We transmission it to you in a very easy and joyful way. Get a deeper knowledge on this topic, right? Because it's really necessary that we research and read and study on this before we decide, that it is true or not true. Another question people ask is this recommended to be in a pure place like in nature without much low vibration around and Wi-Fi? I feel I would need that for the process. People put mind barriers sometimes, like they say, I could do this if I were somewhere else. I could do this if the conditions were different. I could do this if. But sometimes you have to really start wherever you are, right? Of course, if you're in a very dense and unclean environment, maybe it would be good to clean your environment. I mean, I wouldn't do a pranic process in a dirty house, for example, or I wouldn't do a pranic process in a cluttered environment. That would be a good idea to declutter around. But vibration wise, you set your vibration with your intention. You can build, and we teach people over this process how to build energy grids around their home to be supported by this pranic field, how to build energy grids or cocoons around their beds at night to be regenerated and healed and repatterned during their night sleep, how to insulate their home from and their energy field from external influences like the emotions and thoughts of others or Wi-Fi or radiations or anything like that. So all this stuff that, because we live in the real world, we live in cities. I travel through airports, before this pandemic, I was having maybe 4 or 5 journeys per week, imagine 10 flights in heavy crowded airports, going from one hotel to another. Hotels aren't temples, so the energy is not really high. Each time you enter a room, you clear the space, you set a grid for you to be supported, you pray that you don't have noisy neighbors and all that. And that's how I lived for the last 5 years. That has been my life. I do have a home, close to the forest and in the mountains, but I would only spend 3 days in my home and then continue traveling all over the world. So that's how my life has been. I didn't binge on excessive food. I didn't change my lifestyle. I didn't go less pranic in my travelings. Actually, the more I travel in heavy energies, the less I eat, because, for me, I use this pranic state to transmute the energies around me. So the less I would have as external intake, the more my energy would go higher, right? So you don't really need to move in nature to have this process, because we support you with the necessary information, techniques, and practices to be okay wherever you are. However, if you do have the possibility to be out in nature or in a high energy place, that would be, just a bonus or a very nice thing for you to have. I do recommend people to choose their best environment if they can, but if you can't, you don't postpone or stop your spiritual evolution because you're not in the right place. Your evolution is getting you to the right place, usually. That's been an extensive answer that has, referred to several people in this gathering. Not only when we're picking energy, we're addressing several people that are listening because they also need it. Let's see something else here. Is it commendable? This I answered. I think someone is trying to ask if people can do this when they're not healthy. And I would say a pranic process, lightening up your diet, detoxing your body, your mind, and emotions is the key to health, right? Because when you detox your body, mind, and emotions, that's when you get healthy. The reason you get unhealthy is because of the clutter, you know, in the body, in your energy field, and in your mind. That's how people unhealthy. When we declutter that, people can actually heal. I've had people heal during the process. I've had people healing their virus, you know, the famous virus of this planet, you know, nowadays. During the process in 4 days with juices, the meditations that we did, and the change of mindset, you know, and they were at home expecting to die. So I'm not saying that everybody would heal, and we're not medical doctors, so we don't take actually responsibility for people's health, because each one of you are able to sense whether you're ready to go on a lighter diet. But if you do feel called to go in a lighter diet, and if your digestive system is cluttered, and if you are having illnesses, especially related to digestive system, like liver, kidneys, pancreas, diabetes, whatever, that's the first. Lighten up your diet, clear your emotions, enhance your mindset. That's what heals you. That's what heals your body. You know, a better fuel is making your car, your ship work better, right? It's natural. If it happens for cars, if it happens for any energy built device, it also is the same for your body. Does this make sense? And does this sound true to you? So the first step for healing is to do a process of decluttering and detoxing and reframing your energy field in your body. And you know, the Pranic process online is doing that, is reframing everything. It's highly recommended, but I wouldn't recommend anyone, and attention to this, I wouldn't recommend anyone to stop eating altogether without any energy preparation, without detox, and without a spiritual practice that is meant to be done daily. You know, if you stop eating and you don't detox your body, and you don't have a regular chi intake practice that is, you know, for pranic intake specifically, you might die. I mean, people have died, and any of you who is endangering himself, you know, that's a warning. If you go in such you know, in such a state, with you totally drop food without having any energy practice and preparation, we don't recommend that. So that, in terms of health, that's what we're, you know, warning people about. You know, don't do it without knowing what to do. And you know, by the year like this, because it's something that can really damage your energy system and your body. Postponing is too bad when the soul is asking for it. Yes, it's true. You don't postpone things that soul is requiring from you, because you're actually postponing evolution and the gifts that the universe needs to give to you. Do you recommend enema to clear the colon from old stuff? I highly recommend enema and colon cleanse. Always during the process, we do recommend that. And also you can do sauerkraut juice. People have heard me say gazillion times. The sauerkraut juice kind of has the effect of an enema, but without, you know, having to water through the other side. You know, if you drink enough sauerkraut juice, you're going to cleanse your system. But we do also recommend enema for cleansing specifically the lower chakras and the colon. I believe colon cleanse done at least 2 times per year is a must, and it's a, you know, it has to become a habit, not only when you go through a process or you're doing a healing technique. It has to be a habit, because most people who are eating, they're cluttering their digestive system and their colon a lot. So it's a must. And it cleanses so many aspects on so many levels, not just the physical. It goes through trauma, it goes through deeper things, so it's necessary. Before we do a quick exercise together of pranic intake, do you have any further questions? Anything you would like to add or ask? Somebody is asking the type of juice, the sauerkraut juice. Sauerkraut is the cabbage that you put with salt and water, you know, in a jar, and they leave it there and it brews. And then as it brews, it becomes sour, right? and you eat the cabbage with various things, and the juice of it, you can drink it for health. It's a very good probiotic. It has a lot of vitamin C, vitamin B, a lot of stuff in it and vitamins, and it also cleanses and detoxes and energizes your system. It's the ultimate power food. And also kombucha is very good, but we'll talk more about it during the pranic process. I would love to ask for Pyramid Times for take together. We start with addressing one of the topics of the pranic process. Usually in each webinar, we recommend techniques and practices for this to be a lighter and uplifting journey in your life. So techniques to upgrade your vibration, techniques to align to your light body, techniques to clear your chakras, techniques to be in a lighter state all the way through your day in a simple way. I made a plan. So we start with the discussion, and for 1 hour we discuss about pranic methods and techniques. And basically it's not about how to quit eating food. It's about how to align with your divine self and listening to the voice of your soul and follow your soul's mission and unravel your exceptional capacities. That's what the pranic process is about. And that's what we talk about every evening. And then at the end, we have a pranic meditation, a meditation where we heal, restructure, declutter, and upgrade our energy fields in our physical body so that it goes lighter and lighter into its vibration. So for 8 days, you upgrade with that. Of course, it's during Christmas, you get to spend Christmas each day with like-minded people and soul family in such heartfelt way, you know, meditating together, sharing together. You get to share with each other, you know, and it's a different way of spending Christmas than binging of extra food and looking for what else is on the table and going through the family matters and, you know, the quarrels that come up and all that stuff. It's a lighter way of tapping into the Christed energy that is coming on the planet with the Christmas and the New Year, you know. And the Christed energy is not something religious, like some people imagine that we're going to go all religious now. It's an energetic thing. It's even a scientific thing because it's the energy that has come through Krishna and Buddha and Christ and so many other, you know, anointed ones, or the ones who have tapped into that energy, that have held that frequency of Christed energy on the planet. And they've all talked about higher frequency, about mind mastery, about love, about how source is ever abundant and therefore it can also nourish you, and all the stuff, you know, tapping into that energy. This is what we're doing with this Christmas retreat pranic process online. So for the ones who were interested in this, I'm going to just, tomorrow you find it on my Facebook page, Cristiana Eltrayan. So that's where you can really look at event and subscribe to it and share it with your friends. I mean, really share this with everybody that is what is in your team of friends or the people you know, because really it's a time where people need this so much. I mean, people are having all this hard time with processing the energies of the planet and the shifts and the pandemic and the worries about abundance and how our lives are going to be. All the stuff, you know, that's happening now that is challenging for people needs help. You know, people need help to keep an uplifted state. And that's why we do all these trainings, meditations, and processes to keep that pranic state, which is a high vibration, you know, regardless if you choose to eat from now on or not eat, you get to keep that high state and stay happy regardless of what's happening on the planet, you know, because the planet keeps shifting. We're going to keep evolving. We're going to go through crisis and smoother times and crisis and smoother times, and it's cyclical. You know, specialists and scientists like Greg Braden are telling us that it's cyclical and it comes and goes. So you have to stay the same. You have to stay happy and harmonious and balanced, regardless of the planetary situation, regardless of how your partner is, regardless of how family is, what family is going through, because you might need to be that light pillar that holds the light up in your environment or in your zone, as I was telling to Shakti earlier, right? To divine Shakti. So you might be the one to have to hold the high frequency, you know, and not look for the exterior to give it to you, but you hold it and emanating. And from that, some other people might benefit, and of course yourself. That's pranic consciousness, and that's pranic lifestyle. You know, when you become a beacon of light and energy, instead of absorbing and taking and needing, you have it and you can also share it. That's the beauty of it. That's the pranic lifestyle. Of course, there are steps to moving into that stage. Listen to powerful sacred music that uplifts your frequency, because you're 90% water at the molecular level, and 70-80% at a cellular level, and that water is impacted by the sounds you're listening to. So easy to shift your frequency with music. And of course, last but not least, treat your body like a temple. Don't discard it, don't misuse it, don't choose partners or environments, foods or for your body, and try to treat it like the temple of the divine that it's truly. There are simple steps that I've said, 8 in number, and we're going to talk about each one in the process. These are simple steps where you tune into a higher frequency, and they are part of the pranic lifestyle of each one of us. That's what I would recommend to you. And the process that we're starting on the 22nd is really highlighted by 8 ascended masters, and all of them are supporting it. So tuning into the beings of light that are helping you, or the beings of light that are helping this process, is a good way to uplift your frequency and lead a pranic lifestyle as well. Someone is saying, will we do energy protection from computer and Wi-Fi vibration while meditating, where we open the field around, which also includes this vibration? And if time allow, one last. Yes, we actually do a field around us every day. We create a field around us. We're going to do some of this now. We create a field around us that actually shields us from Wi-Fi radiations and other pollution factors. So yes, we do that. And the last question, and very important, is how would you recommend to handle sexual energy during this process? Divine Shakti, you nailed it. It's very important, beings of light that we're connected to, and the source that I'm always speaking from, are always recommending wise usage of sexual energy, among the other things that I've talked about. So always master your mind, always mind your diet, but the sexual energy, what can uplift you or bring you down, right? Because it's the most appealing thing on the planet. It's the stuff that sells best. Why? Because it's the utmost feeling of happiness in these few seconds where your mind completely stops, you enter the orgasmic state, and you're one with the divine. Why are people looking for sex so much? Because for some, it's the only moment, the orgasmic moment is the only moment where they feel connected to something higher than themselves. The right use of sexual energy is something that I speak a lot of during the past 10 years. We actually have a webinar called Sacred Intimacy and Kundalini that refers to this, very much in connection to pranic lifestyle. You can get access to that course if you want, because it's also in video. Just share the details of how to get it. I do feel that for all people, it's necessary to be mindful of how we use that energy and how we share it with others, and only share it with someone you love. That's what I can briefly say about it, right? And be mindful and conscious in how you share it. Share it with love. Sexual energy without love is misusage of sexual energy. That's what I can say. So yes, let's start following your breath for the next 5 minutes into a brief meditation before we complete. Start imagining, visualizing, sensing, or feeling that you're in a light column from the center of the universe or to the center of the earth. And this light column is surrounding you, cleansing you, harmonizing you while we speak. Start following your breath and absorb this light from the light column every time you inhale. Every time you exhale out the worries, tensions, concerns, thought forms, everything that doesn't serve you, everything that's not beneficial for you. All that is not for your highest good. Just follow your breath with it. This light column around you is pre-programmed to dissolve, transmute, transform all that's not for your highest good. Deep breath in, feel how your body is filling up with this energy. Deep breath out, feel how you exhale out the worries, the tensions, the concerns, the thought forms, and how your thoughts are dissolving like little clouds above your head. Feel this energy surrounding you. Feel the breath regulating the rhythms of your mind. Deep, deep breath in, center in your heart completely. Start feeling your heart chakra in the center of your chest. Feel the heart chakra in the center of your chest, expanding with every inhale. And feel that you have a connection cable from the heart of the central sun coming down to the galactic sun, down through the sun in the top of your head, coming down into your heart now. Feel your heart opening to receive this energy from the great central sun, and feel when it opens up, it also heals. Being able to receive more and more love. When you exhale, as your heart is full now, and your heart chakra is like a light sphere full of love. When you exhale, this love is going into your cells, into your organs, into all your physical systems, into all your auric field, and out into the universe. So again, with a very deep breath, you expand your heart chakra again. And as you exhale this energy out into your organs. It also flows through the lower chakras into your feet. As it flows through your feet, it builds roots from the soles of the feet down to the center of the earth, and you connect to the heart of Gaia. As you connect the heart of Gaia, you feel the heart of Gaia. You feel how it feels to be fully connected to it. You feel the pulsations in the heart of Gaia. And as it beats, it also sends love back to you through your roots, up through your roots, through the soles of the feet, through the calves, knees, thighs, up into your hips. You receive this energy from the heart of Gaia into your hips, that then goes to the lower back, upper back. And as your body is full, it springs out through the top of your head, all around your body, forming a bioshield around you, like a toroidal system or a sphere around you. That is your bioshield, your biomagnetic field. And this field is shielding you from radiations, Wi-Fi, thought forms, emotions of others. The more you reinforce it, the stronger it becomes. You have to practice every day. And you have this spherical bioshield with a biofield of Gaia all around you. You're nested in it, breathing through it, and you're still in the light column from the center of the universe with the universal energy, the yang energy. And you center back into your heart with this yin and yang balance perfectly dancing in your cells and in your heart chakra, with the energy from the center of the universe and the energy from the center of the earth, gathering in the center of your heart. And you come fully present in your body now, fully present in your body. You start feeling your toes, your presence in the soles of the feet, the ankles, the calves. You're fully present in the knees, the thighs, like a hand within a glove. You come fully back into your hips, and you're fully present in the lower back, the abdomen, the upper back, the chest, the arms. You're fully present in the neck. You're fully present in the head, at the top of your head. You're fully present here now. And you're back into the room. And I'm so happy to hear your. Just remember to check out my Facebook page, Cristiana Eltrayan, to join and share the event that we're having tomorrow for the 21st of December winter solstice, the meditation we have at 7 p.m. Bucharest time. So join that. And also check the events page, Soul Healing Academy /events, soulhealingacademy.com/events, the link that you have in the comments or in my bio or wherever you're watching. That link takes you to the Pranic process online, the Christmas retreat that we're having for 8 days. Join that, be with us, upgrade, uplift, unfold. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was very wonderful. Connecting to the earth frequency is very real and it's very physical. Sometimes most of the meditations are in certain levels, but connecting to earth energy is very beautiful.
Earth is your mother and is the mother of our body, and it's all that we are, and it's good that we connect with it. And thanks for everyone who joined. Thank you, Maria, who is saluting me on another channel, and everyone who's sending love. And let's, for the completing of this webinar, send a ray of love from our heart to the heart of all of us joining. So let's send the grid of love. I'm sending love from my heart, like rays of love, beaming at you. And let's all send love from our heart to each other. Let's feel that for a second.